This is a headline I could not make up if I tried. And Amazon has shut down a recent secret project to develop a fertility tracker. According to CNBC, the company had been working to launch a fertility monitoring device and companion smartphone app for the past 4 years as part of a project codenamed Encore, I guess, said people who asked not to be named because they weren't authorized to speak to the press. No surprise there.
Or they
The,
didn't like the name of their project. Like,
right,
I don't want to
right.
admit to Project Encore.
Project Encore. Yes. Well, the naming gets even better, Anne, because the team sat within Amazon's Grand Challenge, which connotes all kinds of bad things
Oh
for me,
boy. Oh boy.
are also known as its Special Projects Division, the sources said. The project appears to have been a costly endeavor as well and required significant upfront investments for lab research and development, in addition to the high salaries for scientists and engineers, the sources said, adding that the team's weekly overhead was roughly $1.5 million, which by my counts, Ann, is some significant cheddar. Are you
Yeah.
pro or con the idea of an e-commerce retailer tracking your fertility?
I don't think that's the question to ask. I really don't.
Oh, really? Okay.
I think
Oh,
that
interesting. Okay.
everybody's
So
hung
you
up
could be
on,
okay with it.
yeah, I mean, I give my information to
Okay.
a tracker that, and it doesn't matter to me if it's Clue or it's Amazon. I don't think that's the story here. I think the
Interesting.
press and media is using this as an opportunity to kind of freak people out, given the current climate of like Amazon's tracking your fertility. Well, there's some benefits to that too. And I don't think it's wrong for Amazon to be doing this. I mean, if I can
Oh,
get
interesting.
vitamins or I can get other things, because it's more than fertility that you track in these apps. It's how you're doing on sleep, your mood, energy, all these other things. And so I think that if you start to look at those things, and would it be convenient for me to get vitamins delivered to me in a couple of hours through my Amazon Prime membership or other things, like there could be benefits. So I don't think people should be hating on Amazon for trying something
Hmm.
like this.
Hmm.
What I do think we should be paying attention is the fact that Jassy is really looking closely at where they can curb spending, that Amazon is in a challenging position like a lot of other retailers are right now, and they need to start to look at where they can cut costs. And unfortunately, as we know, Chris, like innovation is some of the first places where they can cut some of that spending, especially at the burn rate that you're talking about, 1 million something a week. I mean, it makes
Yeah.
sense that this might get tabled for a little while so they can focus on the core business. So I think that's what's the real headline here, not whether or not Amazon should be doing a fertility tracking program. But what are your thoughts? I mean, what would
Interesting.
you do if you
So
were
I want
Jassy?
to, so I want to make sure I understood you correctly. So you're saying that you're fine with Amazon doing this if they didn't have the budget constraints that they're currently facing given their current
Yes.
financial performance. You are. Wow.
Yes,
Okay.
this is not
Wow.
the area
Wow.
where this is not Amazon's core business right now. This is the potential down the road to find other areas for generating revenue. So I don't hate the
Interesting.
idea. No.
Interesting. And that's why I don't like it because I think it's just outside of the core in general. Like that.
Hmm.
And it shows two things to me. One, it shows to me the sheer temerity or hubris that Amazon thinks its success in selling goods via e-commerce and cloud data storage allows it to do, right? That it can get into fertility tracking. Because the actual tie-ins with Amazon's vaunted flywheel are stretches at best. Like, oh yeah, I can get my vitamin, I can know when to send people their vitamins. Like, I don't know. Like that okay, fine. You could always make those connections, but like, come on, there's more here on this than meets the eye. And so I think he's right to pull the plug on this. I think they've gotten their skis too far ahead of them, gotten too far ahead on their skis for many projects like this. And so I think it brings them back to the core of like what really gets Amazon's flywheel working and where do they really have a right to win. Now, with that said, Anne, I'm going to talk out of both sides of my mouth because I will still take discounted ED drugs and hair loss drugs till the cows come home, like they announced last week too. So I don't know, but this just feels different to me. That feels like core retail and commerce. This feels like a bridge too far for me, but I don't know. You get the last
Oh,
word on this one.
I see. I still disagree. I mean, it sounds like they
Okay.
still have one project in this grand challenge um, portfolio
Grand
that's still
challenge.
in the healthcare space. And I do think, like, again, I think people are focusing too much on the fertility tracker part of this. There are so many more elements. There's a flywheel of once someone does get pregnant and they are already in the Amazon universe, you are able to bring them in to start offering them. baby gear. You're starting to like get them earlier in on the cycle. I don't think this is any different than like some of the stuff they're doing like right now, the Amazon haul, like the Temu competitor thing. Like they're trying to find new
Yeah.
areas
Yeah.
for growth. And I don't
Yeah.
think that that's a terrible idea to get people attracted to you, used to checking an app multiple times a day, and then being able to transact right within it. So I don't hate it. And I think that people are focused a little bit too much on one particular function of it. So
Yeah.
that's where I'll leave it. But
Fair, fair point. And we agree to disagree, Ann,
that's
which is what
right.
this
That's
show's all
right. Where
about.
this is a very
Yes.
civilized show that we
We're very
have
friendly today, Ann. We're very friendly.
until we get further into the show. Don't worry, people. We'll be back.
Yes.